As an academic institution, we obviously pride ourselves on high quality research, but what differentiates us is the fact that this research is applied.
My name is Peter West, and I quite like documentaries on Channel 4. I especially like the plane crash. That was quite a recent documentary where they crashed a plane into a desert to find out where your best chance of survival was. So I was team leader, and I had to make sure that all of the resources were in place and making sure that we were able to complete each part of the project to a good degree.
I think the most challenging area was defining the scope of the project. So at the start we had a lot of ideas, a lot of work on social media and second screen technology. So I think it was really important to keep to our focus of interactive adverts and personalisation.
I worked on the program recommender and advert retrieval systems. The biggest challenge of the project was probably implementing the machine learning theory that I've been learning about. There was just loads of unexpected difficulties.
I think probably what was most exciting about the project was finding out how people actually use it. So the results of the user study, finding out how people hold an iPad and it changes the way they view TV. That was really cool.
So I think you need to look closely at how people consume TV. So particularly students and younger people just go in front and sit down on the sofa and just look at whatever's on. So I don't think Your 4 tries to change that, but it introduces so much at the same time, so personalisation, stuff like that, without actually changing the way people consume the media.
Most important feature of Your 4, probably the simplicity of it. There's very little interaction involved in Your 4. I mean, there's not a huge number of buttons and channels that the user has to navigate. It just works.
The user interface of Your 4 is probably one of the greatest things, and I know we've focused a lot on the personalisation aspects, the interactivity, the fact it's mobile and the statistics, but I think the user interface is so simple. If you think about it, I mean, what we've done is we've taken away all of those useless buttons and we just give someone a nice big screen on which they can sort of change anything on the TV they want.
I really think that this is something which would improve television. Whenever I watch TV, which isn't all that common, but I always find that the adverts are a little bit annoying because the ones that I really want to see are just never on. So I think this sort of interface would really be useful, especially with me doing a lot of travelling. I'd like the mobility as well.
The most exciting bit was actually tackling an entire project from start to finish, working with the client to develop a brief, working out what we were going to implement, finishing everything up and doing some studies on whether we'd actually been successful.
So the reason for the success of the Your 4 project was really to do with the appeal of the project. It certainly appealed greatly to both the commercial customer and the university as a novel research project. But at the same time it also appealed to the students, and that was reflected in the amount of work that was produced, obviously for both the commercial company and the university, but also the number of other companies they involve in order to try and achieve the aim of changing the way that we consume adverts in this 4 minutes.